I really like Brooklyn Nets fans. You guys are loyal, all right? And the Brooklyn Nets, they re-signed Cam Johnson. They brought in one of the best perimeter defenders in the league in Dennis Smith Jr. They brought in Lonnie Walker, who I think can be a steal. Same thing with Darius Bazley, all right? Great guys who were first-round draft picks, and Lonnie Walker has proven time and again that he's a good player. Noah Clowney was a great draft pick. He kind of fits in with Deron Sharp, Nick Claxton, good rotation. Dariq Whitehead's a low-risk, high-reward guy. Yes, they lost Seth Curry, Yuta Watanabe, Joe Harris, Edmund Summer, and Patty Mills, but I like this. I know this is a weird roster, but it's fun. It's got some intriguing players on it. And Mikal Bridges is the guy they're building around, and Ben Simmons is 100% healthy, so I'm stoked, okay? And I think they have a good core right here. Bridges is the biggest part of the team. I think an underrated part of the team is Cam Johnson, but the current roster, they have 15 players under contract. Ben Simmons, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, Nick Claxton, Royce O'Neal, Noah Clowney, Dariq Whitehead, Cam Thomas, Deron Sharp, Dennis Smith Jr., Lonnie Walker, Darius Bazley, Trendon Watford, and they got two ways filled out of the three that they can with Amari Brooks and Jalen Wilson. And I thought they signed David Duke to another two-way, okay? And I could be wrong, but I believe David Duke is going to come back on a two-way. And I believe it was reported, but he hasn't had anything reported, but they don't have a roster spot to give him unless they want him to, get an exhibit deal. So I expect him to be brought back on a two-way, even though it hasn't been guaranteed. And currently, if we wanted to talk about what the roster is going to look like, I think the starting lineup is going to look like Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, probably Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, and Nick Claxton. No, I take that back. Spencer Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Ben Simmons, and Nick Claxton, with Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal, Lonnie Walker, Cam Thomas, and Dennis Smith Jr. as the main guys. Then it's Darius Bazley, Deron Sharp, Trendon Watford. I really do like the idea of potentially, for me, I really, really, really like Ben Simmons. And I think Ben Simmons, if he's 100% healthy at this point, if he comes back, I think he's on vengeance. And this guy's averaged 16, 8, and 8, okay? And he's 6'8", okay? With a 7-foot wingspan. He's literally a triple-double threat. He's got elite point guard abilities, unstoppable when he pushes the ball up court, and he's actually a good finisher at the rim. He's the best defender in the league. Yes, he can't shoot a three-point shot, and I don't even care, but look, if he's available to play and healthy, I think he's good. I think he's really good. Now, the thing is Darius Bazley's contract has no money guaranteed. So if he isn't traded, if he's not waived by the first day of the season, his contract does become guaranteed. So he's basically a camp invite. So there's a better chance Darius Bazley makes the roster than Trendon Watford, but Trendon Watford could beat out Darius Bazley, and Darius Bazley could get waived. Trendon Watford and Darius Bazley are duking it out, and maybe they bring David Duke into training camp and they cut one of Watford and Bazley, and then they bring in Duke on a standard deal, which is something that he could be asking for. But to me, man, I don't know. I really, really, really like what the Sean Marks is doing here. I actually sat behind Sean Marks. And I really like Jock Vaughn as a coach. This is going to be a team that's going to be gritty at defense. They're going to be annoying. They're going to be pushing it. And I think it's going to be fun. And they're going to show a lot of heart and skill. And for me, I think that's the biggest thing with this team. So I do want to hear your guys' opinions down below in the comment section. What do you guys think of this squad? But for them, I think when you look at them, once they add Mikal Bridges here, and who's the biggest part, and Ben Simmons is going to come in, Cam Johnson, they have their little three, and I think if they play well, they'll be able to bring in free agents. Because if you look at this team next year, they're right now, this season, they're at $159 million. The salary cap's at $165, so they're actually $6 million under the salary cap. But going into next season, they have Ben Simmons, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges under contract, as well as Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Thomas, Deron Sharp, Noah Clowney, and Dariq Whitehead. And they're at $108 million in cap space. That means they can offer a max contract next offseason. And if we look at, free agents for 2024 free agents, it's going to be potentially a good class. Now that, Anthony Davis is re-signed, there's a chance Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, all right, James Harden, LeBron are all going to be in that free agency. Drew Holiday, OG Anunoby, DeMar DeRozan, Klay Thompson. They're probably going to have to re-sign Nick Claxton, obviously. But again, I think it's huge, okay? It's huge. Manuel Quickly, Tobias Harris, Josh Hart just re-signed, so he won't be. But Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Bruce Brown potentially, Jaden McDaniels, Miles Bridges, Buddy Hield. Like, this is a good free agency class that I don't expect a lot of guys going to be there. So I think the Brooklyn Nets are playing the long ball game. So what are your thoughts?